Hello, friends and enemies. It's me, V. I have PCOS, that's why I have a beard. No long time no see. That's how it goes. Okay, so we need to talk. I last put up that video. The video that you remember, the last video I put up where I was like, hey, I'm starting to have anxiety, blah, blah, blah. Well, it got worse. I think I mentioned during that video I hadn't taken my Flovent. So I took my Flovent right before I started crying that second time. And then I woke up the next day and then I took when I was supposed to have that dose. I should not have done that because then I felt really anxious and having anxiety. Then I forgot to take my Flovent again. I did it for 24 hours. And I said, no. I'm not going to do it at night and then, freak out. So I waited till that time at 10 to do it. And then I had more anxiety. And this is over the course of really the 12th. The 12th to the 15th. Because the 15th, that Thursday is when I forgot to take it. Friday I took it. And then I was like, okay, I feel anxious, but that's okay. And then I had the beginning of anxiety attack. I talked to my mom Sunday. I had an anxiety attack. I said, okay, we're good. Monday, yesterday, rolls around. And I feel the anxiety attack. It happens. I'm crying. I'm like, okay, I'm good. I'm good. I'm in my bed. I'm crying. We're good. I start to go to a grocery store. And I start to get out of the car and I'm starting to feel it. I'm like, hey, wait a minute. Don't do this. So then I start to think and then I start to cry while I'm grocery shopping. So I have to stop grocery shopping. I start crying and then I'm like, okay, I'm good. I'm driving. I then say to myself, or my brain says to myself, you're not breathing. You're going to die. And then I said, I can breathe. And then my body was like, no, you're not breathing. So then I started to hyperventilate because it felt like I couldn't breathe. And this was after taking the Flovent at 10 a.m. I'm sorry, I took it at 10:30. So I took it 13 minutes before I was supposed to. Walgreens called and asked. They were like, how are your medications? I said, I'm not taking Flovent again. They were like, what? I said, I'm not taking Flovent again because I started to have these issues. I thought it was stress. Then I realized that none of these feelings were really coming on until I had Flovent. So, yeah, that's what happened with that. And I've been thinking to myself, like, since I was a kid, and it has dawned on me, right now it's dawned on me that I've always had anxiety. My anxiety all through middle school, I felt a little not as on edge. But high school, I definitely felt anxiety. When I was working retail, I definitely felt anxiety every time. I would be like, oh no, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? And I realized that I've always felt anxious and anxiety until I got to this job. And I had anxiety until 2020. If I'm really thinking about it, I was always fearful something bad was going to happen. And then 2020, before the pandemic, I was like, okay, whatever. And then even with a thing or whatever, with me going to the ER that first time and being like, oh my gosh, I feel like blah, blah, blah. I feel like I can't breathe and everything. I think that was just me because I had to watch the news and watch what happened and all that stuff. I think that's why I had that attack where I thought I was like not breathing and whatever, because I was seeing what was going on and everything. It took a week and then I was fine. I didn't have any issues. And now I'm having issues less than 3 years. No, because I had it in March. March. I had it in March or April or March. And it's now December 2023. So yeah, 3 years plus. And now I'm just sitting here and I'm like, is my anxiety coming back. And I was like, I constantly was telling myself, oh, I'm, you know, don't think about it. I don't want to have anxiety. I don't want to have anxiety. You know, I don't want to have anxiety. And then when I would get these anxiety attacks that I've been having, I would be like, please just make them go away. I don't think they're ever going to go away. And sitting here thinking about it, I've had it for quite a fucking while. And now I'm getting to a point where I'm like, okay, you know what? I just need to deal with them. To honestly deal with them. Just to go in. So right now I'm feeling it. And I'm like, okay. Yeah, you've had it before. Okay. You're going to deal with it. So I'm dealing with it. I think right now I'm having a bit of insomnia. A lot of insomnia where I try to go to bed at 11 and it's just not working. It's not working. I have no idea when I went to bed last night because and the thing is, I took my Singular and my Zyrtec at 9 o'clock and I was in the bed and I couldn't sleep. And I was like, come on, go to bed. And the thing is, I had a headache and I felt tired, but my brain just would not stop. It just kept thinking and thinking and thinking. And my mom told me something which makes me think that I got it from Mom. She mentioned how she went to a conference and they said that when anxious people will be able to smell things better or whatever. Like they have a strong sense of smell because of how anxious they are. And I was like, that's not true. And then I realized my most anxious times, I can smell things. Like I can go, ooh, I really smell that. Or I can smell that. My mom, her sense of smell is really strong. She's always anxious. She also has insomnia, where she'll sleep for like 3 hours and can't sleep or whatever. And then my brain was like, what if you have sleep apnea? And I'm like, okay, what if I have it? I'll deal. I've been dealing. And then my brain's like, you can't breathe. And I'm like, okay. If I can't breathe, I just inhale and then I can breathe. So I've been trying to do that to myself. For whatever reason, my brain is now just focused on me breathing. I'll be looking at something and then my brain's like, how are you breathing? And then I'll just stop and I'll just think I'm breathing now. And then my brain's like, dementia patients, they die because they can't breathe. And I'm like, yeah, they stop eating and stuff and learning how to, their brain just goes, and unfortunately they aren't able to breathe or eat or drink on their own. But what does this have to do with you? So that's where I'm at right now. That's where my brain is going. My brain is just going there. Which is much different. So yesterday was a shit show. Today I did not take the Flovent. I felt tightening in my chest, which I will say that when my doctor and I talked and she's like, do you want to, wean yourself off Flovent? I'm like, yes. She said, okay, instead of the 4 puffs, just take 1 puff. I noticed when I did the first puff, I noticed that my lungs felt like they were tightening and everything. I took my inhaler, so I'm like, I'm good. I also breathe from my diaphragm, but my brain seems to think that I'm not breathing, even though I'm breathing from my diaphragm. Like right now, I just took a breath and my brain's like, you can't breathe, you're out of breath. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I breathe from my diaphragm. So as a result, my stomach moves in more versus my lungs. Because that's what I was taught in middle school and for singing. Because if you breathe from your diaphragm, you're able to get more air in. But yeah, that's where I'm at right now. Originally, I was going to talk about something else, but I just want to give you guys a heads up of what was going on. I have some other videos that I had done during all of this, and those will go up later. So we'll see. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys later, and as always, fuck Tom Brady.